Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of No Title Needed. I am Cynthia Collins.
And I am Scott Osborne.
We are your co-hosts.
Yes, we are.
Ta-ta-da!
Hey.
And we're here at the beautiful Feinstein's Cabaret at the Hotel Carmichael in Carmel, Indiana, USA. And today our guest is Heather Carpenter. Heather, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Right? You're awesome already.
This is easy. I'll just come back all the time for this praise.
Right? It's nice. It's good for the ego.
That's right.
Obviously, many people know you as you were married to Ed Carpenter, IndyCar driver. But you, obviously, like everyone, have a whole entire life of your own. You've how many kids? You have two boys?
We have a daughter and two boys.
Daughter and two boys. Yeah. And you were by trade first a nurse, weren't you? And were you working with the IndyCar drivers as a nurse?
Yep. So I grew up in Anderson, Indiana, not far from here.
Oh, yeah.
And my parents knew I wanted to go into the medical field. And so they made me get my EMT license when I was in high school. And I started working at Methodist Hospital in the emergency room while I was going through nursing school. And Dr. Bach, who was the medical director at that time, said, hey, would you like to kind of be cheap labor and come and start traveling and entering in crash data and doing different things like that? And so they kind of trained me, and I, from there on, continued working for the IndyCar series. And eventually, that's how I met Ed. We have different versions. I gave him a physical. We have different versions of how that physical went. And the rest is history.
I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
My version
I don't care
is
about
okay.
his version. That's you're
My
the one
version,
here.
which is the true story, is I gave him the neuro test, and I was impressed. He was the only IndyCar driver with a college degree. He went to Butler University and graduated with a marketing degree. So that's how we met.
He's also born and raised in Indy, right?
He was not born here, but he was raised here.
Oh,
so
okay.
We actually live on the same property he grew up on, which is kind of funny. So he says he never moved away from home.
Wow.
Yes.
When you were that nurse, you were there in the thick of it during the race, right? Were you, or did you travel?
Yep. So we traveled to, I hadn't really traveled much coming out of high school. And so it was such a great opportunity for me to be able to go and see the country and see different places and just, experience life out there.
That was the 16 race series around that time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you got to go to...
We got to go all
and
over.
it was Europe and...
so I never did that as a nurse.
Okay.
But I did that once, Ed and I.
Is that like 5 years ago?
No, it's been a long time ago. I want to say last time we probably went to Japan, I was maybe pregnant with my 15-year-old. So it's been a long time since I went there. So we used to go to Japan and Australia and Brazil.
I remember
all
that
these
first
places.
Japan race,
Yeah.
actually. I remember watching that on
Going to
TV.
Japan was just amazing. I can't say enough great things about it. I think everyone should go to Tokyo and experience it.
That's what a lot of people say. That the Japanese are very polite. They're very kind.
So polite, so kind.
Yeah.
And clean.
It's clean. That's what I was going to say. And the craziest part is there's no trash cans anywhere. Everyone just carries their trash on them till they get inside a building. It is unbelievable. And even the homeless people have matching tents and they have suits hanging on them. It is just a different world. But
Considerate. How do you get a whole culture to
exactly.
be considerate like that?
Yeah,
That's a
it's
really
just
good
amazing.
question.
Yeah, just like I said, so kind. I can't say enough great things about our experiences there.
Did you when you were still nursing? What was did you have to do some? Was there anything that really was pretty heavy?
Unfortunately, what they do for a living is very dangerous, and a lot of times, that's just part of it and what it is. And I think you separate what you're doing from your job. That makes or what your feelings
you just
are
have
and
to do
emotions
it.
and from your job, and you just do it, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
So you kind of knew what you were signing up for in that sense.
I think I always say Ed's safer out there than he is on the interstate. And if you saw him drive, you would agree with that. It's not, it's the fact that I know and I trust we have the best medical crew, the best paramedics and EMTs and firemen that are right there on the scene. If he were to crash within 10 seconds, they're all right there. And the safety and the technology that's come so far, even from the 25 years I've been involved in racing, is just amazing. And they can constantly continue to improve what they're doing to make it safer for the drivers. So I feel like, knowing what I know, even though I know it's a possibility no matter what you do in life that, something could happen. My daughter's a pole vaulter. My kids play hockey.
That's right. You were saying your kid, all these dangerous things. She's
Yes. So I'm a big believer. God has a plan, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And there's, we
Runs
just
in
have
the
to.
family.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my God, I just lost what I was gonna. Whoa, yeah. So you were involved, and you still, I don't know, in charity work.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
what?
just-
Tell us,
I feel
please,
just
please
it's
share.
important, to always give back. We're very fortunate. We get to do many things, see many things. My kids lead a great life. I want to make sure that they understand the importance that not everybody lives this way. Not everybody gets to experience the things they've experienced. And I want to make sure that I instill in them those kind of, morals and everyone around us, how to make a difference. So we've done everything. Back originally, I started the Indy Family Foundation, which in 2006, Ed was involved in a really bad accident where the other driver passed away, unfortunately. And so we realized there was a need at that time for an organization that could support the racing community, not only drivers, but also crew members and their families, reporters, photographers, anybody at all who's involved that makes I call it our circus, makes our racing circus run. Support their families. So we started this foundation back then, and in the time I ran, I think we gave away over almost $8 million in helping, and it was everything from medical, untimely death, bankruptcy, anything that someone was going through, to try to help them through that. So about 2 years ago, I actually handed that over to some other people just because my life was too crazy with children and their sports.
3 kids, right, and everything, because you
else.
travel with them,
Yes,
with the
yeah.
sports too.
Yes, I'm on the road. So I always say the hockey season goes from, well, it never really ends, but the main season is August and through May. And then Ed's racing season is March through September. So there's not...
Back to
yeah,
back.
we're on the road
Yeah.
all the time.
And then the pole vaulting
Yes,
is
and then,
happening.
yes, exactly.
Boys must be pretty good at hockey if they're traveling with it too.
It's a lot of travel, let me tell you. Well, we live in Indiana, so there's not a whole lot of hockey. So if we want to go play, they're basically the teams they're on are made up from the entire state and kind of the surrounding areas.
Okay.
And so if we want to go play teams, you have to kind of travel. So
Like you're going up north a lot.
We go north. We go like the next 3 weeks.
East, going east.
So say the next 3 weeks I'm in. Well, I'll be in New Hampshire, Philly, and then I think we're going up to Toledo, Ohio for a couple of days. So it's all over. And while I'm doing that, Ed's gone on the road with racing, and we're everywhere.
2 cars.
Yeah.
Two Indy cars passing in the night.
Yes, exactly. But on the charitable side, like I think whether it's I've been on the Children's Museum Guild.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it's important. My son and I just volunteered at Wheeler
love that
Mission this
place.
past week.
Oh,
I can't
yes,
say enough
been
great
there.
things about Wheeler Mission, and and for my kids to see that as well. Like I think no matter whether it's food pantries or whatever, there's so many opportunities that people can give back, and I think they need to continue to try to make our I love Indianapolis, and I want to make it a better place.
Yeah, it's good. Good for
We're
you.
happy you're here.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's a
Thank you.
good mindset that everyone should have.
Yeah.
You can always give something, help with this hand.
Yeah.
Help
it doesn't
yourself and
take
then help
money,
others,
it can just service.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with Heather Carpenter. Hey everyone, welcome back to No Title Needed with our guest Heather Carpenter. Heather is the wife of Ed Carpenter, but we were just talking before the break about everything that you have been doing and the charitable work you've done and instilling that in your 3 kids, which is so very important. There's the Nat. And Nat always
around.
likes to join us.
Comes around.
Yeah, he might be in the Indy 500 this year. But and speaking, well, we're coming up. He's speaking about the Indy 500. You can't get away from it because you are still really involved,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, I mean we own the race team, so we have 2 cars that run the full circuit. So Christian Rasmussen and Alex Rossi, the 20 and 21 cars.
What's the name of your team?
So Ed Carpenter Racing.
Okay.
Or UCR Indy is kind of how they're referred to.
Okay.
And then for the 500, we'll have 3 cars with Ed in the car as well. So it's
Well, he's going to be driving.
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was all
No,
retired.
so he still drives the 500. This will be his 22nd, I think, or 23rd. So Indy 500.
Oh.
That's to him.
So it's
And you're
it's a
right there.
long-
Like are you in the pit?
Yep. So when he's out on the track, I try to be there in the pits, paying attention, close by. I like to be somewhere near the track.
Probably even as in a leadership role at that moment when he's out
We've
there.
got the most amazing crew
Okay.
and team manager and everything that kind of handles all of that. And so I just get to be the wife. And we always say during May, Ed just gets to be the driver. He's not the team owner. So, they handle everything and do everything and make sure that, we are focused.
Yes.
Well, that leads me into what is the month of May like
So
for a family like yours?
It is crazy because not only, this is home, so we're fortunate that we get to be here. Where all these other drivers, who don't live here, have to move their families here for the month. So at least we get to sleep in our bed at night. Most nights we still get to stay. We stay the night at the track a couple times, in a motorhome there. But our life still continues. So my kids still have sports going on, and all that. My track for my daughter, states during that time. The boys have lacrosse and they have hockey, and so. Our life is just crazy. So I'll usually try to go to the track for a couple hours each day and then go get kids and go to all their sporting events because I think it's important that, even though this is Dad's busy life, it's also, they know that they're important.
Yeah, but you're
too.
running everything
Yeah.
else.
So it's nonstop.
I mean,
In
you're
fact,
running
while
everything.
I was
Superwoman over here.
waiting
Yeah.
for the order or waiting to come up here and talk, I was ordering the T-shirts for the weekend or for the month and doing all the tickets, and everything. Actually, have to get out tickets for everybody and all that. So
Oh my
it's just
God.
constant busy, but it's okay because I thrive on busyness and staying active, and so it's good. It's fun,
and,
I
the
wouldn't.
travel, everything.
Yes, and I wouldn't change it for anything. We feel so blessed to be able to do all this and to be a part of it. And, I know that one day will come where, Ed won't be racing anymore. And we're all not looking forward to that because we've enjoyed it so much and it's been such a huge part of our lives. Our kids, their first races were at 2 weeks old. Like they don't know any different.
They're always there at the race.
But I always say, like, when it comes to the month of May, and people kind of sometimes will ask me, like, what my favorite part is or whatever. And I always say, so on the Saturday before, we always do the Indy 500 parade. And I love being local, that, all the kids' friends and all of our everybody out there, we get to see them at the parade.
Point out the sections and wave to the
and
best friend.
It's just, it's so much fun to see all them out there supporting us. And then we come home and we have a giant cookout at our house. And our pastor comes and does a prayer. And so we do that. And then Ed will take off a little bit early and I'll stay around and kind of clean up and get everybody, make sure everybody's okay. And then I head to the track and meet him. And so the night before the 500, if you ever get a chance, it is so quiet. And it's like, the pagoda's lit up and you can kind of hear a little bit of the noise off of Georgetown Road, but otherwise it's just this silence and this peace that, at 5 a.m. they'd light off a cannon to signal the opening of the gates. And at that point, it is just loud and crazy. And that day it's going to be just unbelievable.
So much energy.
And so, but I love those moments of peace that night before, just how quiet it is in the motorhome lot there. With all
Calm
the
before the
drivers. Yes,
storm.
Exactly.
Right?
But yes.
Here's just another question. I like you said, he's safer in his race car. Now you were telling us, which I find interesting, that cockpit it's tiny.
Yes.
And we know the race car drivers are shorter. They're smaller because they have to be able to fit in there. But you were saying about all the new stuff, like everything that's in that. It's like a rocket ship, actually. It's a cockpit. It's like a jet. It's like a jet.
Right.
Really.
That's exactly
Actually,
what
it
it
reminds
is.
you of like really a jet plane.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Say all the stuff.
And if
that's
you
in
were to
there.
actually put it in a wind tunnel it's just like a jet because it can go upside down on the ceiling because of the downforce, how much downforce is put in it. So it is. It's just like a jet. I know, isn't that crazy?
What's all in there?
So, so the seats are molded to their bodies. So that way it's exactly fit perfectly for them. And it's kind of like they're laying down in there.
Vacuum sealed into it.
So they're very reclined. Ed says it's his happy place. But they have, the 5-point harness on them. They've got padding for their elbows so they don't hit their elbows while they're in there. They've got padding around up here. Their head, the Hans device, that attaches to their helmets, so their head can't move too much into a crash. They've got accelerometers in their earpieces, so we know how hard if they were to crash, their head is hit. And that data gets immediately sent to the medical team, so they know what to look for, certain injuries. They are so, and now we have the windscreen, so that protects from debris that could come and hit them, and
And that top frame.
yeah, the top frame there, so if the car were to flip over, I mean, there's just so much protection in them now. Granted, anytime anything can happen, but, they can constantly, whether it's the helmet material, to how they've, prevented, a lot less concussions over the years, or just anything. The IndyCar medical staff has done an amazing job of constantly working to keep these guys safe. And even, you've got the safer barriers, which I don't think people realize. So when you look at the track, the walls, they look like they'd be concrete or whatever. Well, they actually they have like a foam in them. And so when you hit them, it's not, it's still going to hurt. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to be hard.
Yeah, but the impact is
but
cushioned.
the impact is pushing and it throws them back out. So it kind of gives and
Yeah.
throws back. Which is another, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway developed that with the University of Nebraska. So now all the tracks all over have that. But yeah, they're constantly on the cutting edge of technology. Even, rear view mirrors were invented at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. First started there on cars. Yeah, so there's like so much that constantly is evolving.
For the ones without the pit driver in their car. That's why they added the mirror, right? Because the pit driver was always, okay.
So that was one of the first things.
I've got one more personal question.
Yes.
So, not excluding your charity, your family, and racing, what would you say your passion is?
My passion. So if I get rid of charity and all that,
Yep.
except
Everything we haven't
there's
talked
not
about.
much
You
time,
did go into
but
healing. I mean, you
So,
did go into healing.
yeah.
I mean,
Personal passion.
EMT when
So,
she was a kid. That's impressive.
So like if I just had to pick something I enjoy to do, I guess if I would say that maybe, I love to be out in the water. So I love to be boating. I was actually on the Purdue water ski team, kind of random. And so like I love just being, and that's something I really feel like I get to enjoy with my kids.
Which lake you grew up on?
So we would go to Morse a lot when I was a
You
kid.
do. I was just I had to ask. I grew up
So
on
my
Mars.
grandpa was who took us. That was his thing with us. So he would always take us out, and I have so many fond memories of him making he'd make a turkey sandwich and he'd put them all in there and bring it for us.
Yeah.
As I
Lovely.
so
Yeah.
many wonderful memories. So I enjoy experiencing that with my
So
children.
you're a
and
good water
hearing
skier, I bet, still.
that. I used to be, not so much anymore. I feel
Oh,
like.
come on. Do that slalom.
But I do saw.
Oh, come on. Don't be so. Come on
Now
now.
everybody loves to surf, which is fun behind the boat.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, I tried that. That wasn't happening. I can water ski.
I haven't tried
I
it.
want to do that. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. Heather, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you for having me.
I
been a
wish you
great guest.
all the best with your children,
Thank
with what they're doing in sports.
Thank you.
You'll always be busy, even when anyone retires, because you'll be going still traveling.
Well, that's what I always tell it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to talk to you again when the kids are
Yeah.
all gone. And what are we gonna?
Because you're going to be still traveling
Yes,
all
I'll be
over
on the road
place.
with him. Just
Oh,
over
yeah,
kids.
you will
Yeah.
be. But anyway, yeah, and good luck at the Indy 500.
Exactly. I was
Thank you,
just about to
guys.
say
Best
best
of
of
luck.
luck in
Godspeed.
May, 'cause
Thank
there's
you.
two. We got 2 in May.
What?
Yeah, there's
that's
2
right.
in
Yeah,
May.
2 races.
Yeah, so the whole month of May. Best of luck.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh!
Yeah.
See,
Thank you.
I don't. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
they do the road course first, then the oval.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but I will
had no
actually miss the road
idea.
course. I'll be at a hockey tournament. So
Good for you. That'll be fun too.
Oh, I love that hockey. Stanley Cup. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Heather. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you for joining us. No title needed. Cynthia Collins.
Scott Osborne.
Right here at Feinstein's. Coming over and see a beautiful cabaret over here. It's a wonderful, beautiful space. And they have a wide variety of entertainment. And from singers to variety acts to, magicians. And it's really, their variety is really getting to be nice. That's a great word, nice. So anyway, just come on over and see something. And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Hey everyone, welcome to a special segment of No Title Needed. We are here with Jeff Borrell talking about civility. We do this about once a month, do a little special segment for Jeff. And you have been talking about civility for quite some time now in current newspaper.
Yep.
And you have an article in the newspaper once a week. And so what's up?
So my question is, you've been doing this study for so long. What has developed, and what can we do to help?
Oh, well, aren't you very kind to ask that question?
He's nice.
Yes, he's nice.
He's
Very
civil.
civil, very civil.
Yeah.
lots going on, and I hope to update you. I think we're going to flash up. We've got a new logo. Project Civility is how we're trying to broadcast civility in our community and actually across the country, details to follow. But I am actually going, what can you do to help? I want you to be willing to drink from the finger bowl.
Yeah. Drink from the finger bowl.
Right. Like,
All right. Can you elaborate?
Well, so I have a great story that to me really epitomizes civility, what civility is all about. You probably have heard about Queen Victoria having a grand ball, a grand event with a dinner, and they were honoring a visiting dignitary. And the courses, there were multiple courses, and they were being brought in to all the guests seated around a very lovely, huge ballroom table. And all the waiters were, and the people were bringing in each of the courses. And so as it goes on, everybody's having just a wonderful time. And at the end, the waiters then place a finger bowl in front of every guest. And the guest of honor was not accustomed to this. He didn't know what it was about. So he picked up the finger bowl and took a drink.
Right.
Everybody was just aghast. The breath, came out. They couldn't believe it. Queen Victoria, what did she do? With a sense of empathy and hospitality and acceptance, she drank from her finger bowl as well.
right.
And so as a I love that story because as we work with the youth in our community, everybody's watching. And would we be brave enough, should the opportunity present itself, to not want to embarrass somebody or harm them or just show any ill will, but to make them feel as comfortable as possible, pick up the finger bowl and take a drink.
Right. Everybody feeling comfortable within the community. Right.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
So I thought I would share that with you and challenge everybody out there to join me. Let's take a sip from the finger bowl.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. Well,
I love that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You know what I mean, Sid.
No, of course. Yes, it's the statement, obviously, that's what it's representing, of course. But thanks, Jeff. This is real quick. It's the Ops Down once a month, but thank you so much for that. And I hope everyone reads your column.
Thank you.
Each week.
Thank you.
In Current.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. We were here with Jeff Worrell. Little special segment of No Title Needed.